In a kingdom where colors shine intensely and shapes defy logic, there are creatures that seem to come straight out of a dream or a Photoshop edition. Get ready to fall in love with 15 birds so stunning they will make you question everything you thought you knew about natural beauty. From iridescent feathers to beaks sculpted to perfection, these birds are true masterpieces of nature. Get ready for a journey through the most incredible plumage on the planet. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Now, let's get started.
Number 20. Giant anaconda at a construction site in Brazil. Modern life and its unexpected gifts, like a cell phone video showing a 10-meter-long snake suddenly appearing at a construction site in Brazil. Yes, you read that right. No turning the corner to find a lost kitten or a bird on the power line. We're talking about a colossal anaconda, the kind that looks like it came straight out of a monster movie. Thanks to our beloved smartphones with powerful cameras, this moment was captured for eternity and went viral on social media faster than lightning. After all, who wouldn't stop everything they're doing to watch a giant snake being lifted by a crane in the middle of a construction site, surrounded by workers clearly unsure if they were making history or making a huge mistake? According to the video circulating online, the anaconda was about 10 meters long, weighed over 400 kilos, and was nearly 1 meter in diameter. For those who know a bit about reptiles, these numbers immediately raise some eyebrows. After all, even the largest officially recorded anacondas rarely exceed 7 meters. So, do we have a world record here? A nature mutation, or are the cameras deceiving us? Either way, the workers' shock was visible. It's not every day you find a beast that monstrous among concrete and bricks. But what followed sparked even more controversy than the animal's size itself. Instead of immediately contacting environmental authorities or specialized rescue teams, the workers decided the best thing to do was lift the snake with a crane. That's right, they chained the snake and hoisted it as if it were a twisted piece of metal or a broken cement mixer. If it were a documentary, it would at least be questionable. In real life, quite problematic, not only because this is not the correct procedure for handling wild and potentially endangered animals, but also because there are strong suspicions the snake died during the operation. To this day, there's no official confirmation of the snake's death. Some say it was alive, but others, noting its stiffness and lack of movement, believe it was already dead or died shortly after the clumsy rescue. The fact is, this story has become an example of how lack of preparation, the drive for going viral, and sensationalism can turn a rare encounter with nature into a sad episode. The possible death of the snake caused outrage among biologists, environmentalists, and ordinary people who value respect for animal life. After all, this type of animal, despite being scary, is part of the ecosystem and is protected by Brazilian environmental laws. Handling it without authorization or proper technique is an environmental crime, and even unintentionally, the workers might have committed a serious infraction. Even more serious is that, in the pursuit of likes and views, the animal's life may have been put at risk just to show it on the internet. This raises an important debate. To what extent does the need to show everything justify irresponsible actions with living beings? Has the cell phone camera become more important than common sense? The mystery still surrounds the case. It's not known exactly where it was filmed, who was involved, or the anaconda's final fate. Official data is lacking, and the video circulating online didn't provide enough details for a more serious investigation. What we do know is that the image of a giant anaconda being lifted by steel chains was enough to impress the entire world and raise many questions. Is this snake a real genetic exception, a unique specimen that surpassed the known limits of its species? Or is the video exaggerating proportions, using angles and camera tricks to look more dramatic than it actually was? In the end, this story leaves us with a mix of fascination and concern. Fascination because, yes, anacondas are incredible, powerful, and mysterious creatures. Concern because, even today, we still treat the unexpected with instinct and ignorance rather than respect and care. So here's the lesson. Not every snake is a movie villain, and not every viral video is worth it. And next time nature decides to show up at a construction site, the first move should be to call a biologist, not to raise a crane. Number 19. Giant python in Malaysia may have broken record. You know those stories that seem straight out of a National Geographic documentary, but with the tragicomic script of an indie film? Well, on an apparently normal morning in Malaysia, a group of construction workers had their routine turned upside down when they found one of the largest snakes ever seen, and the discovery could have gone down in history if not for a tragic and, let's be honest, somewhat ironic detail. The star of this episode was a reticulated python, one of the longest snake species in the world. This lady snake was hiding under a fallen tree, peacefully in her corner until human intervention interrupted her calm. When the workers found her, they were shocked not only by the creature's size, but also by the unusual situation. The snake had just laid an egg. That's right, the animal was in the middle of an important life cycle moment, and shortly after being discovered, it unfortunately died. The commotion was immediate. It is estimated the snake was about 8 meters long, which would place it among the largest ever recorded worldwide. The official Guinness record for the longest reticulated python in captivity belongs to a snake named Medusa in the United States, measuring 7.67 meters. So if officially confirmed, this Malaysian python would have broken the world record and become the largest living snake ever recorded. But like every good urban legend worth its salt, this feat can never be officially proven. The reason? The snake died before the Guinness team or any scientific authority could take proper measurements. Malaysia's civil defense even arrived at the site, but by the time experts showed up, the animal was already dead. No official record, no measuring tape, no record, just a story that entered popular imagination as another almost case, almost a world record, almost an international celebrity, almost a herpetology history changer. Fate was cruel to the snake. It probably spent decades living discreetly, growing, surviving, maybe even evading predators and humans. It reached its maximum size, laid an egg to perpetuate its species, and then, when someone finally found it, it died. It's like spending your whole life rehearsing for a show, and when it's time to go on stage, the lights go out. Nature sometimes has a somewhat dark sense of humor. Of course, the case sparked many discussions among biologists and reptile enthusiasts worldwide. Some questioned whether the workers' estimated measurement was accurate. Others pointed out that without photographic documentation and rigorous measurements, it's impossible to confirm the snake's actual length. Still, the released images left many people stunned, and it's not hard to believe it was, indeed, one of the largest ever seen. Besides its size, another curious point was the moment the python was found, right after laying an egg. In many reptile species, laying eggs demands a huge energy expenditure. This might have left the animal more vulnerable and fragile, possibly causing its death. Environmental stress, human presence, physical effort, all may have contributed to a premature end. But despite the sad ending, the Malaysian python story serves as a reminder that the natural world is still full of mysteries, forgotten giants, and surprising encounters. Sometimes these encounters happen where least expected, like under a fallen tree at a construction site in a tropical country. It also shows how unprepared we are to handle nature's grandeur. Instead of having specialists at hand, clear protocols, and respect for what's before us, we often react with improvisation, haste, and of course, the urge to film and post. The giant Malaysian python may never have its name in books, nor gold medals or museum tributes, but its story continues to be told as a tale of colossal size, of a snake that almost was the world's largest but became a legend for another reason, having been forgotten by modern bureaucracy. The question remains, the mystery remains, and the lesson remains. When nature shows its grandeur, it's better to be ready, not with cranes, cell phones, or speculation, but with respect, science, and sensitivity. Number 18, 30-meter python? Call me old-fashioned, but I like snake videos that are at least somewhat verifiable. You know, the kind of content that leaves you intrigued, but you can find a reliable source to confirm it? Yeah, that's exactly the kind of video I like. Now, those wild stories that only exist to blow up on the internet, not so much. Making stuff up to post online isn't very exciting, and worse, it can cause confusion, unnecessary fear, and even misinformation. And here we come to that classic that pops up from time to time on social media. The story of the 30-meter python. That's right, a snake 30 meters long. That's the length of a bus, a small airplane, or a 10-story building, just so you get an idea. People's imaginations are fertile, but this one honestly is hard to swallow. The circulating video is one of those productions that defy logic, supposedly filmed in India, where giant snakes are a known part of local folklore. It shows a colossal serpent coiled on top of a tree or maybe a wall. The image isn't great, and it's not always easy to tell if it's really a snake or some visual effect. But here's the cherry on top. People have claimed the video was filmed in Brazil, then Malaysia, and who knows? Tomorrow someone might say it was filmed on the moon. The important thing is to go viral, right? Let's get to the facts. The largest scientifically verified snake ever recorded was the reticulated python, and the largest measured specimen was about 7 meters long. That's already monstrous, and just for comparison, 30 meters would be more than 4 times that size. While there are unconfirmed rumors about snakes reaching 10 or 12 meters, 30 is another story, scientifically implausible. On the internet, anything is possible, and that's part of the fun. But it's important not to confuse entertainment with reality. People tend to share these videos without questioning their credibility, and suddenly you have a world convinced that there's a snake as long as a school bus slithering somewhere nearby. My advice: enjoy the video if you want, but don't take it seriously. It's like seeing a superhero movie and believing that everyone can fly or has super strength. Fun, yes. Real, no. Number 17, a different perspective on the biggest anaconda. When it comes to giant anacondas, we always picture monstrous snakes measuring 8, 9, 10 meters and weighing hundreds of kilograms. But today I want to offer you a slightly different view. What if the biggest anaconda isn't necessarily the longest, but the heaviest? And what if the animal's mass matters more than its length to understand its impact? Biologists have shown that anacondas, while usually between 4 and 6 meters, can reach very different sizes depending on their habitat and food availability. But the absolute length doesn't always translate to the highest weight or greatest strength. Some shorter anacondas are extremely thick and muscular, while longer ones can be relatively thin. There's a famous specimen in the Amazon, nicknamed the Beast of the River, that weighed around 250 kilos but was only 5.5 meters long. Imagine the power and energy contained in that mass. If you measured only length, it might seem less impressive than a longer but lighter snake, but in sheer force and presence, it could be a real monster. This brings a new dimension to discussions about biggest snake. If length is the most common measure, weight and girth are often underestimated but crucial to understanding the snake's role as a predator. An anaconda that's 7 meters long but weighs 150 kilos won't be as formidable as one that's 5.5 meters but 250 kilos. The lesson here is simple. Not all giant snakes are the same. When you hear about a record snake, ask not only how long it was, but also how heavy and thick it was. Size has many faces. Number 16, video of giant snake chained by crane. Imagine this, you're on a construction site, minding your business, when suddenly a snake the size of a small truck appears. No, it's not a movie scene, it actually happened in Brazil, and a cell phone video went viral showing a giant anaconda being lifted by a crane, chained like cargo. The shock and disbelief are immediate. The video sparked outrage and questions. How was this allowed? Was the animal harmed? Why use a crane instead of professionals? The snake, reportedly over 10 meters long and about 400 kilos, was moved like a heavy load, ignoring its biological needs and welfare. Experts quickly criticized the method, highlighting the danger for both humans and the snake. This case raises important ethical and environmental concerns. The way we interact with wild animals, especially giants like anacondas, should be based on respect, knowledge, and care. Raising a snake with a crane is not only dangerous for it, but also for those nearby. The viral video reminds us how often lack of information and unpreparedness leads to actions that, while spectacular, can be harmful and irresponsible. Nature deserves better.
Number 15. Gouldian finch, Erythrura gouldii. In the dry forests and shrublands of Australia, a tiny winged treasure reveals itself in colors that seem to come straight from an artist's most vibrant palette. This is the Gouldian finch, Erythrura gouldii, one of the most exquisite birds in the animal kingdom. Its small size, no larger than a closed fist, hides plumage so fascinating it defies the laws of nature, as if it were designed by a graphic artist with impeccable taste for color. The first thing that captures your attention when observing this little gem is its incredible combination of hues. Purple, green, yellow, and blue intertwine with a precision almost impossible to find in other living beings. A deep green cloaks its back, while radiant yellow decorates its belly and lower body, creating a warm and brilliant contrast. But the Gouldian finch's face is a masterpiece. Number 14. Atlantic puffin, Fratercula arctica. On the windy cliffs of the North Atlantic, where the sea crashes fiercely against the rocks, a small nature clown defies the storms. The Atlantic puffin, Fratercula arctica. This bird, with its so peculiar appearance that looks like it stepped out of a cartoon, has captured the imagination of those lucky enough to observe it in its natural habitat. With its colorful bill and unmistakable silhouette, the puffin is not only one of the most beloved birds, but also one of the most emblematic of the cold, windy coasts of northern Europe and North America. The puffin's bill is undoubtedly its most striking feature. Large, flattened, and shaped somewhat like a spoon, it bursts with vibrant colors. Red, orange, blue, and yellow blend in patterns that seem to have been created in a design lab. This natural marvel is not just a Number 13. Helmeted hornbill, Rhinoplax vigil. In the depths of Southeast Asia, among trees that rise to the sky like ancient guardians, lives a creature that seems to have stepped out of a surreal fantasy. The helmet, scientifically known as Rhinoplax vigil. This majestic bird combines the elegance of a giant with the subtlety of a ghost and is a perfect example of how nature can create beings so dazzling they seem to belong to a digital world. The first thing that captivates about this hornbill is its plumage, a sophisticated blend of black and white that covers its body with almost perfect uniformity. However, the real spectacle begins on its head, where the hornbill displays a bright yellow helmet adorning its bill. This helmet is struck.
Number 12. Couple finds giant 2.7-meter rattlesnake while bird watching. Imagine this, you're enjoying a calm afternoon of bird watching, breathing in the fresh air of nature, attentive to the sounds of the birds, when suddenly you come face to face with one of the most impressive and feared creatures of the animal kingdom. That's exactly what happened to Kathy and Lloyd Terry, a couple who decided to spend a day in Florida appreciating the local birds. Little did they know that this day would be forever etched in their memory, and for the delight or shock of those who love unusual stories. As they walked down a rural road surrounded by dense forest and bushes, suddenly a huge diamondback rattlesnake crossed their path. Kathy described the snake as so thick it looked capable of swallowing a whole horse. And to be honest, if it could swallow a horse, swallowing a person would only be a matter of time or opportunity. Spine-chilling, isn't it? The diamondback rattlesnake is known as the largest rattlesnake in North America, with lengths ranging between 1.2 and 2.5 meters, and some exceptional specimens reaching nearly 3 meters, like the one Kathy and Lloyd encountered. Besides its impressive size, this species is known for its potent venom, capable of causing serious harm, which only increases the respect and fear many have for it. The encounter was so unexpected and thrilling that the couple felt the need to share their story with as many people as possible. Running to the local TV station, they narrated their adventure in detail and even insisted on being filmed while bird watching a touch of humor to lighten the tension of the situation. And of course, the video quickly went viral on social media, captivating and frightening thousands. There's a good chance you've already seen the footage without knowing the full story behind it. What makes this encounter even more fascinating is the contrast between the tranquility of birdwatching and the potential danger of crossing paths with a snake of this size. Florida, known for its biodiversity, is home to many exotic and some dangerous species, and rattlesnakes are part of this complex ecosystem. They play a crucial role in pest control and natural balance, but demand respect and caution from humans who share their habitat. Furthermore, this story raises an important point about coexistence and safety. For those who enjoy exploring nature, encounters with wild animals can be shocking, but also opportunities to learn more about these creatures. Proper equipment, prior knowledge of local wildlife, and heightened awareness are essential to avoid accidents. Kathy and Lloyd, despite the scare, came away from the adventure with a valuable lesson. Never underestimate what nature can offer, whether in beauty or danger. And for wildlife lovers, this story is a reminder that the most incredible encounters can happen when you least expect them, and that being prepared is always the best choice. So next time you head out for a walk in the countryside or go bird watching, stay alert. Who knows what giant might cross your path? Number 11. Florida hunters capture a giant 5.5 meter, 60 kilogram Burmese python. The sprawling wetlands of the Florida Everglades, renowned for their unique biodiversity and natural beauty, have faced an ecological crisis over the past few decades. Among the most invasive and damaging threats to this delicate ecosystem are the Burmese pythons, giant snakes originally native to Southeast Asia, but now an unwelcome presence in the American swamps. These serpents have multiplied alarmingly, disrupting the natural balance by preying on native wildlife, and scientists and wildlife officials have struggled to control their population. Enter two professional snake hunters who have turned this ecological challenge into a unique business venture. What started as a mission to curb the invasive python population grew into a fascinating, albeit controversial enterprise, hunting and skinning these enormous reptiles and using their skins to craft footballs, wallets, belts, and other leather goods. Their work gained national attention when, during the 2020 Super Bowl, they unveiled footballs made from python leather, a striking symbol of turning an environmental menace into a tangible product. In one of their most notable captures, these hunters came face to face with a truly monstrous python, measuring a staggering 5.5 meters, about 18 feet, in length and 23 centimeters, approximately 9 inches, in diameter. This particular specimen shattered previous size records for Burmese pythons in Florida, according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, FWC, weighing in at roughly 60 kilograms, around 130 pounds. It was a formidable creature that symbolized just how well these snakes have adapted and thrived in the Everglades. The capture was no small feat. Burmese pythons are notorious for their stealth, strength, and ability to remain hidden in dense vegetation. Tracking them requires skill, patience, and often sheer physical endurance. The hunters employed a combination of traditional tracking techniques and modern technology to locate and safely subdue the python. Their success not only marks a significant achievement in invasive species management, but also sends a clear message about the potential for human ingenuity to help restore ecological balance. Burmese pythons in Florida have become a textbook example of what can happen when a non-native species is introduced without natural predators. These snakes can grow to immense sizes, some reaching over 6 meters, and consume prey as large as deer and alligators. Their presence has led to drastic declines in populations of native mammals and birds, with some species experiencing local extinctions. The problem is so severe that the FWC has designated specific zones where the public is encouraged to hunt these snakes to help mitigate their impact. The hunter's business model reflects a practical approach to a complicated issue. By converting the python's skins into valuable goods, they create a financial incentive to hunt these snakes, encouraging more removal efforts. However, this raises ethical and environmental questions about how best to manage invasive species while respecting animal welfare and local ecosystems. Moreover, this python capture highlights the ongoing challenges Florida faces with invasive wildlife. The Everglades is a sprawling ecosystem, difficult to monitor and control, and each large python found and removed is a small victory in a much larger war. For residents and visitors alike, this story serves as a cautionary tale about the unintended consequences of releasing exotic pets into the wild. Burmese pythons were originally introduced to Florida's wetlands primarily through the exotic pet trade. As they escaped or were released, they found a welcoming environment with abundant food and few natural predators, allowing their population to explode. In the end, the capture of this 5.5-meter python is more than just a record-breaking event. It's a snapshot of an ongoing environmental struggle, a story of human intervention, and an example of how sometimes the most unexpected solutions emerge from the wildest problems. Whether through hunting, scientific research, or public awareness campaigns, every effort counts in protecting the fragile ecosystem of the Everglades from these slithering invaders.
Number 10. Cock of the Rock, Rupicola peruvianus. In the depths of the Amazon rainforest, where the mist clings to rocky cliffs, a spectacle from another world happens at dawn. The Andean cock of the rock, Rupicola peruvianus, appears like a living flame among the green, with its incandescent orange plumage that seems to glow with its own light. Its head, adorned with a perfectly round, disc-shaped crest, makes it look like a mythological creature, half bird, half crown of fire. Males gather in places called lek arenas, where they frantically compete for the attention of females. Each chooses his own rocky stage and performs a hypnotic. Number 9. Mandarin duck, X. galericulata. In the tranquil lakes of Asian woodlands, where the morning light filters through the leaves, swims a living masterpiece, the Mandarin duck, X. galericulata. The male of this species seems to have been painted by an obsessive artist. Its plumage combines orange stripes like flames, perfectly outlined white bands, metallic blue reflections, and purple details that shift in tone with the light. Each feather is placed with millimetric precision, creating a design that defies any evolution. Number 8. Gouldian finch, Erythrura gouldiae. In the arid savannas of northern Australia, a small, colorful miracle flies among the grasslands, the Gouldian finch, Erythrura gouldiae. This bird, just 15 centimeters long, looks like a living watercolor, with an intense purple chest, sun-yellow belly, emerald green back, and a head that can be red, black, or golden depending on the variety. These are not different subspecies, but natural variations of the same bird, as if nature couldn't decide which color combination was more perfect. But this palette of colors hides an evolutionary mystery. The three color variants coexist within the same population. Number 7. Emerald hummingbird, Chlorostilbon melissugus. World, there is a winged jeweler who turns light into magic. The emerald hummingbird, Chlorostilbon melissugus. The act of the air, weighing less, carries on its body the most hypnotic green in nature. It's not a simple color, it's an optical spectacle. When light hits it, its plumage shifts from dark emerald green to electric green in the blink of an eye, as if made of liquid metal. The physics behind this phenomenon is impressive. Its feathers contain no green pigment, but microstructures that refract light like a prism, eliminating all colors except this iridescent green. It's the same principle that makes a CD shine in the sun.
Number 6. Giant king cobra caught in an underground pipe in Thailand. In Thailand, finding snakes hidden in cupboards and under stones is relatively common. The country is full of them, from tiny and harmless species to giant and extremely venomous ones. So when a group of neighbors in southern Thailand saw a snake in a manhole near their homes, it wasn't exactly breaking news, but things got serious when they saw the size of the creature. It was a king cobra. These are some of the most dangerous snakes in the world, with a deadly reputation that's almost legendary. It's no surprise that even people used to snakes lurking around kettles or hanging on verandas got a bit scared. Calling the local snake catcher was the way to go. The operation to get the snake out of such a tight spot was delicate. The secret was not to irritate the snake. After wading through ankle-deep mud, the rescue team searched in the dark until they finally captured the reptile. The snake weighed 15 kilos and was over 4 meters long, a huge creature by any standard.
Number 5. Golden pheasant, Chrysolophus pictus. In the wooded mountains of western China, where mist plays among the bamboo, a mythological being comes to life at every dawn. The golden pheasant, Chrysolophus pictus. The male of this species seems to have been created by an extravagant artist. His crest of golden feathers ripples like liquid flames, his intense orange cape falls like a royal cloak over a scarlet body, and his tail, finely barred in black and beige, extends like a ceremonial fan. He is so colorful that the first European naturalists who saw him doubted his real existence. But this chromatic explosion serves a vital purpose: courtship. Number 4. Multicolored tanager, Chlorocrisa nitidissima. In the misty heights of the Andes, where fog weaves among the leaves of cloud forests, a sparkle of living jewels breaks through the monotone green. The multicolored tanager, Chlorocrisa nitidissima. This small bird, no bigger than a human hand, seems to carry a rainbow woven into its feathers. Its back shines with an emerald green so intense it looks liquid. Its chest bursts with a vibrant lemon yellow, and its throat displays an electric blue that defies any canvas. It's not a bird, it's a kaleidoscope with wings, but its beauty is just the beginning. The multicolored tanager has a secret. Its plumage is not static. Under the evening light, the green feathers take on golden hues and the blue of the throat becomes almost ultraviolet, a spectacle invisible to our eyes, but not to those. Number 3. Bird of paradise, family Paradisidae. In the forests of New Guinea, where humidity wraps everything like a cloak of mystery, lives a bird that defies imagination. The king bird of paradise, Cicinurus regius, doesn't look like a bird but rather a living jewel. Its plumage is an explosion of impossible colors: a velvet blood-red chest, an emerald green crown, and side feathers that curl into golden spirals, as if a jeweler had shaped them with threads of gold. When it moves, it shines under the sun's rays like a dancing flame. But its true magic lies in its courtship ritual, one of the most elaborate performances in the animal kingdom. The male prepares his stage. He clears a small patch of forest floor as if setting a sacred scene. Then, he fans out his iridescent feathers and begins to dance. He bows, leaps, and spins with acrobat-like precision, while his feathers vibrate and shimmer. Every movement is calculated so that the female, modestly colored and like a critical audience.
Number 2. 18-foot python climbing a roof. Do you know what kind of animal your neighbor has? Well, that's a question I never really asked myself before, but it's worth thinking about. In a Detroit neighborhood, a guy named Devin Jones White, the local snake keeper, was hiding an 18-foot reticulated python at home. Snakes are slippery and always looking for an opening to cause trouble. This python with the unlikely name Juliet was caught climbing a roof one afternoon. It was one of those moments when the whole neighborhood came out to watch what would happen. In the end, Jones White had to rush back from work, climb the garage roof, and catch the escapee. Imagine people asking for better enclosures for snakes and an alert system to avoid them getting crushed in their sleep. Number 1. Chubby python caught in the family garage. You know how it goes, right? You're about to take the car out for a Sunday drive and there's a giant deadly snake in the garage. At least that's what happened in Thailand. A family in Somerset, England was shocked to find this 18-foot reticulated python sleeping in their garage. They did the right thing and didn't wake the snake, but called the fire department. When they arrived, the firefighters were stunned by the snake's size and brought no less than 6 firefighters to tame the python. After putting the snake into a bag, which the snake surely liked, they took it to the National Parks Department, where it was measured, weighed, poked, and finally released back into the wild.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss new content. Check out some other fascinating videos appearing on your screen right now.